Hilly Hilly, welcome to Chukchansi language class.
Bayene mai yatache Chukchansi. We're going to all learn to speak Chukchansi.
Hopefully everyone got to check out the video from last week where we had Chris give a little bit more about himself. He's the one on the far right. We also have Brian Agbayani and Nikin, so hopefully we can hear a little bit more from them. And we hope to get a video up of Holly pretty soon. So for those of you who haven't been here for the other weeks, here are the words that we've already reviewed. We have the word water, illic. And it has glottal stop at the beginning and that clicky K at the end. So illic, ilka. Then we have for coyote, we have got you and caught you one. For the verb to cover something, it's sompto or solmit. For duck, we have what or what-e. For the world or the ground or the earth, it's holki or holkiin. For the word strong, it's jawan or jawani. For so or next or then, we have the word meetin. For the word under, it's adlin. For telling someone about something, it's doshit or doshto. And then for sand, we have shukshoit or shukshuya. Last week's words were to dive, bellet, and belta. To grab, gabot, gabota. Your hand is a ponosh, or a ponosha. To drip is chuyuyat or chuyuyta. And then foot is darach and darachi. And then for this week, we have the word for seed. Coyote puts the seed in the ball, so that word for seed is samiya, or samiya an. A ball is an opum, or a palma. And then to eat is khatit, or khata. To put down is khayat or khayata. So if you go to Quizlet.com, so Quizlet, and you search up our title Creation Story Set 4, you'll get our 4 words for this week. And it's nice because you can go to learn where you're just matching the definition. So it just helps you to learn, like put down was khayata, seed was samia, eat was khatit. There's 2 X words, so you got to be careful. And then the ball is apom or apoma. So it lets you practice that. And then it also lets you, if I can get it back, it also lets you do like match is kind of fun to do, or just flashcards. So you can, there's lots of different ways if you want to just test yourself. And when the test on here is actually like the full spelling has to be exactly perfect. So that's also really good at making sure that you know how to spell the word. But this is a great way to practice all the words. We have 4 sets for Creation Story. So it's not just this one. If you search Creation Story, you'll see all 4 sets on there. So those were our target words for the week. We have Creation Story Part 4 coming up next. And we're getting towards the end. We only have 1 section left, so I hope you've been doing your studying. So we've already gone in depth for the first portion of the story, so I'm going to kind of go a little bit fast for this part because we've already done it in the other weeks, but just in case you're joining us, you could review that, or we'll go kind of quick over it today. So the yellow is the first week sessions lines. So we have water covered all the world. So ilik is for water. Somto is covered. It's a past tense form of the word of cover. Then hitiaan, that's all or everything. And then holkiin, and that's the world. Then you have coyote is the word katyu. And amayo means and. Now they're kind of, even though they're separated, an ama by itself can be he, she, or it. When you say amayo, that means and. Koliswa is for little. And then what is a duck. Holshachon is to be sitting. And sipin is above or on top. And then ilik or ilka is water. And when we add that W, then the water's a location. So the duck is sitting on the water. So we don't have a word for on or a or the. Those aren't needed in Chukchansi. Even the word of. Then the word then is mian. Mian. Amak means the two of them, not including you. Amak. And then hun to hun is to be wondering. Hawitmi is how. You have amak again, the both of them. And then kolestal. So it's like koliswa here, except it's got the same root and the ending, the suffix changes because in this form it's a verb and this al at the end makes it so that it's like could or should. There's some like uncertainty to it. And the word na'ash goes with that. Usually na'ash is could or would or should. So when you have this ending here of al, usually na'ash is with it. Then you have ilka for water, mi'in for so or then, and then na'ash matches this wood over here, and then dulal is for hills. Tishal. So again, we have this al possible, so na'ash is with it, could or would or should. And then tishit actually means to come out. So tishal is a different form of that word. So they could eat. So khatal amak na'ash. Khatal is to could eat, like maybe eat. And then we have amak, for the both of them. So that's the first set.
Holkein the Ishantau, or Shantau Oshto, Ta Wintau Chaitash. Creation of Land, Theft of Fire, Morning Star. Translated by Honored Elder Dr. Holly Wyatt. Read by language apprentices Shauna Alexander and Dustin Calhoun Johnson.
Ilik somto hidyaan holgiin. Water covered all the world. Kahu ama yo koliswa what halshachon sipin ilkau. Coyote and little duck were sitting above the water. Mia namak hontachon hawit mia mak nash kolesta ilka. They wondered how they could reduce the water. Mia naash dulu tishal, so the hills would show. Chatal lamak naash, so they could eat.
So the green is for the second session sentences that we went over. So Mitch is for very, like Mitch Gais, very good. So Mitch goes to very. Ilik is water. So it's kind of weird that it says very water deep, but we could make words out of order in Chukchansi and it still makes sense. So wa'a is deep. Chuyu, da, so. Holgi, the land. Adlin was underneath. We don't need a word for was because everything else is in past tense, so it tells us that we don't need the word for was. Then you have coyote, katyu. Jawan directly translates to strong. And then chipne, it could be like spirit or like it's like supernatural. It doesn't exactly fully translate to one specific word. So in the story, it also says that Coyote could be a supernatural, like he's got amazing abilities or a strong spirit. So then is mi'in. When you have ama with a word directly after it, it's trying to say that coyote. So ama kayu, that coyote. Ched machon was thinking. Doshe na mian. So doshe is to tell. Na is I. And mian is then. So it does seem like those words got mixed up, but in Chukchansi, that's okay. And then what e is duck. And we'll go over why there's two forms of these words coming up in a lesson. Machka is to get. You're telling someone to get. When you see this GA at the end, that's called a command form. So he's telling him to do it. So he's definitely being his boss, his amu. Machka shukshuya. So get the sand. Adlin, under. Ilkau, the water. Then, so mi'in. Ama, he. And remember, ama could be he or she or it. So in this case, it's he. Dosh told. What e? Duck. Belka. And this is dive, but it's in the command form. It's again like that GA telling him to do it.
Mich ilik wa a chuyuta holgi adlin. The water was deep. There was land beneath it. Kahu Jawan Chipne. Coyote had supernatural power. Mian nama kayu chedmachon doshe na mian what e machka shukshuya adlin ilkah. Coyote was thinking, I will tell duck, get sand from under the water.
So here's our last session, our last section that we'll go through today. And it kind of is weird because when we're going over the sentences, we had then duck dived in the water, and then the video kind of put that together in the last section. So me and what? So then duck, belta. So that's a word of the week. Dive, adlin, under, ilkau, the water. Then me and what? Duck, gabota. That's our word of the week. Grabbed. So past tense to grab. Then we don't really need a word exactly for the word some, so that doesn't translate directly. And then even though it says earth here, we know that they were talking about the sand. So we use the word chukshuya. And then we have amin, his. And instead of claws, because a duck is actually talking about his feet coming up with it, right? So dadachiu, in his hands or in his feet. Because duck just have feet. And then du ponosh, ne, just like hands. Ponosh is your hands. And ne is a lot like the word like similar. Mi'in then, tishmasham. So he came up. So tishka is to come out. So this is another form. It has the same root. So he came up, out, and then ilkau, of the water. But we don't need to directly translate of and the. We just need water as a location. Then shukshoy, the sand. Choita is to drip in the past tense. Amen, his. Ponoshao. And again, it's just like the word hands we had here, except for hands is a location. It's dripping from his hands. So we add that W on there. Mi'in, panata. So then he arrived. And we put he got. Well, the translation in English was he got, but he arrived, sipin ilkau, above the water. So he came up out of the water. Then we have koliswa, little. Shukshoy, which is sand. Joto is to stay or remain. So a little sand stayed. Adlin, under. Shechau, under his fingernails. And that's a really cool word to practice as your challenge word. It has two X's in it, so a lot of glottal sounds in that. So shechau for fingernails. That's where we'll stop this week. And the section from last week was then Duck grabbed some earth with his, it's really a direct translation of feet, but claws. So mian matches then. What with duck. Gabota was one of the words that we needed to learn, and that was for grab, to grab something. And then shukshuya skips to sand, actually. Amen is for his, and then dadachu. So his foot is the location, so we added that W there, and it matches with the word claw in the translation. And then the du ponoshne, just like hands. His ponosh is his hands. Then as he came up out of the water, mian matches then. Tishmasham is to come up. Ilkau is the place of water. Then we have shukshoy is the sand. Choita is drip. Then amen, his. Pono shao, and his hands are location. So the word for hand, ponosh, gets a W on there. We have to add a vowel so we could say it. Then the last line, then he got above the water, mian for then. Panata was to have left. Sipin is above, and ilkau is water's the location. So we added that W again. Then a little sand remained under his fingernails. Koliswa, which is little. Shukshoy is sand. Choto is to stayed, to stay. Adlin, under. His. He shechau, fingernails.
Mian what gabota shukshuya amin dadachu du ponoshne. Duck grabbed some earth in his claws like hands. Mian tishmasham ilkau shukshui chuita amin ponoshau. But as he came up, the sand fell out of his hands. Mian panata sipin ilkau koliswa shukshui choto adlin cheshachau. When he reached the surface, there was only a little sand left under his fingernails.
So for the new portion of the story today, we just have 3 lines. And now you should have a lot of familiar words. So we have then, mian, coyote, caught you. Ta and ta is to take or to go with the sand. So shukshuya. Mian goes with then. And then make or create is the same word. So we've had that one doshto. And in this form of the word, it's deishta. Then the last word is apoma for ball. Then he made a ball, apoma. He had some seed. So kayu, chanat So coyote had a seed or had some. Mian aman, then they. Will chete, used to eat. The last line says then for mian, ama, he, yet to have one. Chanat he had a seed. Chayata, so he's going to put it. Chayata, is for he again. Chanata, shukshuyan, apolma. So put the seed in the ball of sand. So we're going to end it right there. If you want to keep reading the rest of the story just to get familiar, but those are the last lines that we'll do for the next class.
Mian kahu taneta shukshuyo mian deishta apoma kayu chaneta mian naman wilchate. Coyote took this and made it into a ball. He had some seed they used to eat. Mian nama yet chanetam chayata chaneta apomin shukshuyao. He had one, but one seed left. He put it in the ball of sand.
So if you want to use a link that I'm posting in Easel for Teacher Pre Teacher, they have a assignment. It's in Google Classroom also, where you can try to put the sentences in order. Like the first 7 lines, we've had a lot of exposure to that. So see if you could pull out your keywords. Maybe you want to highlight those keywords and then see if you can get it in the right order. And really the only one that doesn't follow, there's a statement line, and that's coyote was a strong spirit or like a medicine spirit. That one's just a statement, so it kind of feels like it could be anywhere, but see if you can find where it goes in order. The rest of it, you can kind of pull out those keywords and really figure out the storyline from it. But that's your challenge for this week. Now we're going to go through the sound slides so that you can learn the sounds of letter I. So 80% of languages in the world, and there's 6,000 to 7,000 languages still left in the world, they use these same vowels that we do in Chukchansi. And it's the same that you might be familiar with if you've learned Spanish. So it's a, e, o, u. And I have my students in my class practice this a lot so that they can get familiar with those sounds. And then when they're trying to figure out, oh, I wonder how I pronounce this word, I have them go back and say those sounds out loud. And if it doesn't match one of these sounds, then we're trying to probably pronounce an English sound. So just keep practicing this over and over again until you get really accustomed to just defaulting to these sounds in Chukchansi. So a, e, o, u. A, e, o, u. One more time. A, e, o, u. And that's the short version of it. If we're doing long, we just hold it for twice as long as the other sound. So it'd be a, e, o, u. You can grab this worksheet in Google Classroom, or if you want to, you could just grab a piece of paper, draw a line down the middle so you can record the short vowel I words and the long vowel I words. Our first short vowel I word is shillish. Shillish. That's for your hair. Your long vowel I word is gamisha. Gamisha. That is a borrowed word. This next one for short vowel, we have automobile. Automobile. And then for a chicken, we have gallina. Gallina. Something interesting to know about these words too is these are in subject form. We'll learn about that later. So the word automobile in this form is subject form and it's short vowel. Sometimes when you switch it to object form, the vowel lengthens and it becomes long vowel. So just because you learn the word in one form doesn't mean the word that all the words are going of all the forms are all going to have short vowel sounds. The next short vowel word we have is shidgil. Shidgil. And that means ground squirrel. There's a different word for gray squirrel. So English, we only have one word for squirrel, but in Chukchansi, we have two types of squirrels. So we have two different words. Then for the long vowel I, halina. Halina for flower. Short vowel I word, illik. Illik, one you should be familiar with by now. For water, illik. Then our long vowel I word is jili. Jili. And the short vowel I word on this one is galil. Galil for train. And then our long vowel word is boliga. Boliga for sheep. Another word you might be familiar with for our short vowel word is limik. Limik for dark or black. And then a ring for our long vowel I word is aniya. Aniya. Ooh, a good favorite word people probably have, doldia for tortilla. Doldia. And then our long vowel I word on this one is hihina. Hihina for an owl. Short vowel I word on this one is elkikin. Elkikin. And that is for shiny or bright or yellow. And then our long vowel word on this one is jiwu. Jiwu. And that's for a goat. Our short vowel word on this one is khatit. Khatit. And that's to eat. And our long vowel word is boyida. Boyida. And that's for a chick. Our next short vowel word, yatit. Yatit. And that's to talk. And then sandia. Sandia is for watermelon. So here were all the words that we covered just now. So if you missed one, you can either go back or here's a review of all those words. And we're going to practice listening and sorting sounds now. All right, so sorting long and short I sounds. So we have and eh. So it just holds a little bit longer. So we can move these numbers to where they match. Even if we can't necessarily spell the word, we can hear it and then figure out what sound it has. So here's the first one.
Number 1, pitch it, pitch it.
And you can tell that all those are really short. So we're going to take number 1 and move it down here. Number 2.
Number 2, Leah, Leah.
You can hear that long vowel sound in that one. Leah. So here's the next one.
Number 3, automobila, automobila.
So that second sound in there, ila, is long.
Number 4, nim, nim.
You can tell all those sounds are very short.
Number 5, Helena, Helena.
You can hear that I extended in this one. Ina. It holds a little bit longer.
Number 6, limerick, limerick.
To the word for the color black, and that's all short sounds in there.
Number 7, Gidwiyat, Gidwiyat.
So to go around in a circle, that's got a long sound in there. And the last one.
Number 8, Widnit, Widnit.
You could tell all those are short. All right. We're back to a story with short I and long I sounds. And the story is called The Sheep and the Chicken. So, Boliga amoyo gallina. Hiuhiwit goliswa hapis. Boliga oji. Hablikyao ho'o. Little soft sheep walked fast near red house. Tashit boliga kotien shikwana gallina keshu hablikyao ho'o. Sheep saw a big white chicken inside the red house. Hili hili gallina halichuntma, wilta boliga. Hello, chicken. How are you? Said the sheep. Michgaisna, wilta gallina. I'm very good, said the chicken. Oyisit na halada, dishit na doldia an. I'm happy because I made tortillas. Kayuashta ka wilta gallina. Please taste them, said chicken. Hiahawu, shiteyat he, doldia, wilta boliga. Gee, these tortillas tasted delicious, said the sheep. Natni dishal ma halinaan, amyo nomkan ilkan, wilta gallina. Maybe you can make it with flour and warm water, said the chicken. Potit da halinaan, mien opchit She touched the flour, then it spilled. Shen shich willet gallina. Let's sweep it, said the chicken. Hopefully you were able to pick up on those great long I sounds, especially in that story. We're going to go on to the dialogue practice. Okay, so now for the long and short vowel I dialogue. Hili hili, ta ishka nim hidia on hogigna. Hi, look at my animals.
Aman Mitch Boyomi. Ha ta ta. They are very beautiful. What is that?
Hi hachami boliga. This is a new sheep.
Boyomi. Ha ta ta. Beautiful. What is that?
Hi bodnia limik. This is a black pony.
Ama bonia Michkoliswa. The pony is very little.
Huhu amayo hoily. And yes, and very fast.
Nani naash potol Maybe I could touch him?
Huhu.
Ama Mitch hapis. He is very soft.
As always, we have our mini spelling test. It's a great way to make sure you're picking up on what we're doing and just practice with our spelling. It's not as difficult as English, so it gets really consistent after a while, and you'll probably enjoy it more once you get it down. But here's our next spelling test. The first word is biba. Biba. That's a borrowed word for pipe. We just changed the P to a B. So biba. Is that long or short missing from that? The next one is a gitchat. Gitchat. Kind of surprising. We actually have a word for lock. Gitchat. The next one. What's missing? Either long or short I. And you might recognize this word from the story we just did, but it's halina. Halina for flower. Our next word is for thread. Hilu. Hilu. Is that short or long that goes missing for this spool of thread? This middle one right here, you have two sets, so you have to figure out what's missing in those sets. Is it short or long? Ginginit. Ginginit. That's for headache. Ginginit. And then this one is a word for pillow, also surprising. We have our own native word for pillow. So, orich. Orich. Is that short or long? Missing there. Almost done. The next one is a word for church. Misahi. Misahi. Which one is missing there, short or long? And then to be stinky is shinit. Shinit. So here you could check your work and see how well you did. So biba for pipe had a long I sound. Gichat for lock has short. Halina had a long I for flower, as well as hilu for thread. Jinjinit is for headache, and they're all short I's, as well as orich for pillow. Misahi had a long I, and to be smelly or stinky, it's a short I for shinit. And for those of you who have access, who receive emails from the tribe, you can get those links for upcoming live sessions if you want to participate. That way you could ask questions and things like that. These are the dates coming up. We actually moved them all to Wednesday so they didn't conflict with meeting times that might be happening that you want to participate in. So these are all going to be Wednesday times now. So that did change from the last set of calendars that we put out. So we're going to do the same thing of the learning with the story and all that with all of the O sounds now. We'll have O slides, practice listening and sorting sounds with O, the story with O, a dialogue, and a spelling test. Make sure you keep practicing these vowel sounds because it'll get really stuck in your brain and you'll know, okay, I could always go through my sounds and see if it matches what the word that I'm trying to say. So we have a, e, o, u. A, e, o, u. So if it's not these sounds that you're saying when you try to read a Chukchansi word, come back to these and fill that vowel sound in with the sounds you hear here. A, e, o, u. If you want to get a piece of paper just to follow along, make sure you have a side to write down the short vowel words and then a side to write down our long vowel word examples. So our first short vowel word is bombomyo for robber, bombomyo. And our long vowel word is the word to grow, so it's a verb, boholo, boholo. Our next short vowel word is bonoy. It's our second word, and the word is actually the number 2. So bonoy. And then to gather, gobit, gobit. So the word for gut is dosh, dosh. And then the word to sit is holoshat, holoshat. The next word is gos, gos for pig. That's a borrowed word, gos. And then our long vowel word is jogogut, jogogut, to point. Our next short vowel word is lopis, lopis for fish. And then the word for mosquito is kolapi, kolapi. Our short vowel word for this one is mos, mos, and that's for a sweat lodge. And then the word for little boy is nocho, nocho. Next short vowel O word, ocho, ocho, and that's for your head. And then a whirlwind is a poyach, poyach. Short vowel O word on this one, shokoi, shokoi for grass. And then something that's like frozen is sopal, sopal. It could be ice or ice cream, sopal. Our next O word is som, som, and that's for cloud. And then the word for south is tojolo, tojolo. Our short vowel word next is the word for skunk, soch, soch. It looks like you would want to say socks, but we have a glottalized X, which we'll get to pretty soon when we do consonants. So it just looks like socks, and it does help you remember how to say the word skunk, because a skunk stinks like your socks stink, except for you got to remember that the X has that glottalized sound, so soch. And then the word for boot is woda, woda. The word for button, short vowel word, wodon. And the long vowel sound to yell, yo-yo, yo-yo. So in case you missed any, here's all the words that we just went over. We'll have O slides, practice listening and sorting sounds with O, the story with O, a dialogue, and a spelling test. So we're going to move on to our short and long vowel O sounds, and I might try to get a little tricky on you since you've had several of the long vowel, short vowel sorting activities. So we'll go through it together and see if you could put it in the right spot. So our first word is the word for mouse, and that word is kosoi, kosoi. So that's for number 1. You could move number 1 or write it on your own sorting sheet. Is it short or long? Kosoi, kosoi. The second word is the word to throw something, or like to, it's a verb, so throw. Koit, koit. One more time. Koit. That's to throw. Number 3, should it be short or long? The word is to tattle, like to be a tattler, tattletailer, or snitch. And the word is doshena, doshena. doshana. Number 4, our fourth word, it can be short or long. The word is koti, koti. And that's if something is big. In English, we would say it's big. Koti. Number 5. Which side does this one go on? It's the word for uncle. Nochoch. Nochoch. Number 6. The English word for, like the word for purse in Chukchansi, it's wonish. 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 Number 7, a really cool sounding word for whirlwind, or one of those like little tornadoes, like a dust storm. Whirlwind. It's oyach. 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 And our last one for you to figure out is, where does the word for wood rat go? A wood rat. So, how much? How much? How much? So if you want to pause and check your answers, or double check what you have first, or if you didn't finish, you can go back and listen to that video. But here's the answers. So number 1 should have been on the short vowel side. Kosoi is a short word. Number 2, ko it. Ko it was throw. That had a long O in it. Number 3, doshana for toddler. That is a long vowel. Number 4 was the word for big. It was koti, koti. So that's a short. Number 5 was the word for uncle, nochoch, nochoch. So that was a short one also. Number 6 was the word for purse. So that was wonish, wonish. That's also a short word. Number 7 was that word for a whirlwind or dust storm. Oyach, oyach. You can hear that long vowel in there. And then that word for wood rat was how much, how much. That was a long vowel also. So if you got these as your answers, you were correct. We'll have O slides. Practice listening and sorting sounds with O, the story with O, a dialogue, and a spelling test. This story for short and long vowel O is The Boy Who Lost His Boots. So nuch O, ipsinmi wodaan. Nomi, ohom boko nanem wodaan. Ohom ma taashan nim wodaan. Mommy, I can't find my boots. You haven't seen my boots. Ohom bochon, ta ishka adlen shobona. No, son, look under the blanket. Ahomp amak ama, they're not there. Nopop, ahomp bokon na nem wodaan. Ahomp ma taashan nem wodaan. Dad, I can't find my boots. You haven't seen my boots. Ahomp bochon, ta ishka dikin opomao. No, son, look behind the ball. Ahomp amak ama, they're not there. Mokshay, ahomp boko na nem wodaan. Ahomp ma taashan nem wodaan. Grandma, I can't find my boots. You haven't seen my boots. Ahomp nepshay, ta ishka dikin hi holo. No, grandson, look behind the beans. Ahomp amak ama, they're not there. Otai, ahomp boko na nem wodaan. Ahomp ma taashan nem wodaan. Little sister, I can't find my boots. You haven't seen my boots. Ahomp netvich, ta ishka gohonao. No, older brother, Look in the box. Ohomba mak ama. They're not there. No shush, no shush. Ohom boko na nem wodaan? Ohom ma ta'ashan nem wodaan? Auntie, I can't find my boots. You haven't seen my boots. Huhut nawe. Ta'ashan nam nem wodaan ochi chechao. Yes, nephew, I see your boots near the dog. Hiya woo. Boket na nem wodaan. Michma gais nem no shoshi. Gee, I found my boots. Thank you, my auntie. Well, I hope you picked up a lot of short O, long O sounds in that story. Also, that story gives a lot of words for family members that you can pick up in that story. So that's another reason why you could listen to that story multiple times and get some good vocab out of that one. We're going to do the dialogue practice next. This dialogue is called Hilita O. Where is Turtle? Oh, Hilita Ma. Turtle, where are you? Namech naak yo toch Friend, let's both call him. Huhu, yo goch mai. Yes, let's call. Oh, yo ket min ho'o. Turtle, come back to your home. Oh, ye satna. Yo ket na. I am happy he came back to me. O ye set na panat tao mam. I am happy he returned to you. O chot ho'o holoman. Turtle, stay home always. Our final activity is spelling test for letter O sounds. For missing letters, you're going to figure out if it's a long O or a short O, missing from the empty space in the word. So our first word is the word for meat, bosh. So is that a long O or a short O missing there? The next one is the word for echo or repeat, doni. We have a word for pulling hair or to grab hair, chodat. The word for rice, halos. Then the word for a wild potato, homoki. A word for mud, locha. And a word for your thumb, it actually is for all the fingers, so just a finger, is a nomich. And the word for fire, oshit. So you can take some time to repeat these words again if you need to before going to the next page so you could check your answers. You can check how you did. Mitch guys for sticking around for our 4th class session. There'll be another class session Wednesday, August 30th at 6:30 p.m. a live session if you want to catch those. And those will start to cover consonants. So I also put up there the remaining schedule. These are going to be Wednesday classes now, so they don't conflict with any of the meetings coming up if you want to participate in those and like to attend those. You don't have to choose now between going to a meeting or going to class on a live session. So these are the dates coming up, and I hope to see you on some of them.